bringing Israel to the world. This is IBN News.
With News of Israel, I'm Susan Michaels. In a letter to the National Security Advisor Mir Ben-Shabbat, Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit has warned Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that he cannot single-handedly share the country's surplus vaccines with far-flung allies in Africa, Europe, and Latin America, and that such an important decision cannot be made by the Prime Minister alone. Mandelblit argues that Netanyahu should have consulted the cabinet for such a plan. The Prime Minister's announcement last week of his decision to share vaccines caused an uproar and was later frozen due to legal questions in Israel. But his controversial plan has raised questions at home about Netanyahu's decision-making, as well as his choice to help nations in Africa and Latin America when the neighboring Palestinian territories are struggling to secure their own vaccine supplies. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Health Minister Yuli Edelstein agreed this week that schools will resume in-class learning for grades 7 to 10 beginning next Sunday. The government also voted to open event halls and restaurants starting next week as Israel continues to reopen its economy. According to the outline, cafes and restaurants will be able to serve patrons outdoors. Green Pass holders who have received both vaccine doses or who recovered from COVID-19 will be able to dine indoors as well, enter event halls, conferences, and tourist attractions. Hotels will also return to full operations, including indoor dining areas. More than 400 European parliamentarians are urging leaders to use Joe Biden's new presidency as an opportunity to stop what they call Israel's de facto annexation of the West Bank. In a letter addressed to European foreign ministers and EU foreign policy chief Joseph Borrell, they argued that the Biden administration presents a chance to correct course in Middle East diplomacy, adding the previous U.S. administration left the conflict farther away from peace than ever. And Defense Minister Benny Gantz said this week that Israel intends to develop a special security arrangement with Gulf Arab allies who share common concerns over Iran. I'm Susan Michaels.
IBN, Israel Broadcast Network.